to solve for. All right, so for this one, I'm also going to use my calculator. Now, they want me just to solve for, I guess, for the variable, but I can't use nsolve because these are inequalities, and nsolve uses equations with equal signs. But I can go ahead and graph these, and there's a way to interpret these. First of all, let me look at my variable. I know I'm going to have an x, all right? And then I have the symbol and everything else can be determined from the calculator, because sometimes symbols switch, and I'm going to show you how to kind of resolve all that. So I'll start off with x, my variable, before I put any symbols. I'm going to go ahead and go to my graphing side now. I should have a nice fresh screen. Hopefully the camera will pick it up and resolve it soon. Because these are inequalities, I can't use the function with an equal sign, so I'll go ahead and delete that. Press delete. Once you do that, this menu pops up. Press 6 for relation. Now I can go ahead and do any kind of equation or inequality in this case, as long as it's always done with x's and or y's in it. In this case, we have x's. So I'm going to type in this inequality exactly the way I see it into my calculator. So it's 3 parentheses x minus 8 close parentheses plus 2x. To get your inequality symbols, you press Control and then equal sign. Then the little menu pops up. I need the less than or equal to, which is in the second row middle column. Enter. There's my inequality symbol, and then 6. So I go ahead and press Enter. Now, here's a little trick. I can see that everything's going to the left, so I know my arrow is going to point to the left. And because I had less than or equal to, it's still going to have the half equal sign. So now I know which way my symbol's going. All I need is the number. To get the number, I'm going to go ahead and just click on my line, and it starts blinking because it's been selected. And then to get the value, I go to Menu, I go to 5 for trace, 1 for graph trace. And the x value you get down here is your answer. So let me zoom in because it's a little bright and the projector or the camera can't seem to pick it up. So let me see if I can focus in on it. Maybe I'll get a little closer. If you can't see, the answer is 5. All right, that's a little too zoomed in. All right, so there we go. X is less than or equal to 5. So there is our first answer. Actually, was it 5 or is it 6? Actually, it's a 6. My screen's a little cut off, I'm sorry. My 5 is a little cut out on the pixel there. I can really see it too, like you. It is a 6, I apologize for that. Let's try this again and hopefully correct. I'll clean this out really quick to get a nice blank graphing screen, and I'll move on to number 10. So number 10, remember, delete to get rid of the equal sign in my graphing menu, 6 for relation. I need to change any variables to x, and this has already been done for me, so I can type in exactly as I see it. Negative 20 plus 6x is greater than, oops, I already had it, greater than, negative 20 plus 6x is greater than 2x plus 12. Enter. Now, I know I have x as my variable, so I'll write that down. I know that it's going to the right, so my arrow points to the right. There's no equal sign in it, so it just goes to the right. And now I need the exact value. I'll click on my line, menu, trace, graph trace, and it looks like it's an 8, although mine's still a little cut out. It is going to be an 8. So x is greater than 8. Easy enough. So use that trick whenever you're doing inequalities. It's easier and faster than working them all out and having to deal with any sign changes because it'll do it for you. Now, back to some manual labor. Here we have simplifying expressions. There's no equal sign, so we're not solving for anything, we're just making them smaller. When we're dealing with multiple variables, you go in alphabetical order, with constants, plain numbers being at the very end. So I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into it, and hopefully my math won't be too far off, and I'm gonna start with the letter A's. Feel free to use your calculator. You should actually be using your calculator. Hopefully I won't make any mistakes with my experience, but let's see how I do. So I have letter A's. I have letter A's, or variables of A's, variables of B's, and I have a few constants, it looks like. So let's start with all letter A's. I have 12 A's, and then using distributive property right here, that would give me plus 5 A's, so that would be 17 letter A's. Using distributive property right here, I have negative 8 times 2A, so I have 17 A's with these two, minus 16 A's, leaves me with a total of just 1 A. A singular A. You can leave the 1 on or take it off, it doesn't really matter. Now for letter B's. I have positive 12 B's to begin with. Using distributive property again, 5 times B gives me 5 B's, so 12 plus 5 is going to be 17 letter B's. And then I am going to go ahead and go to negative 8 times positive 6. So negative 8 times positive 6 is negative 48. Negative 48 plus the 12 B's I had from before leaves me with a total of negative 31 B's. Now I just deal with my constants. The only constant I have is here at the very end, this negative 1, which also gets multiplied by this negative 8. So a negative 8 times a negative 1 gives me a positive 8. So my final answer is A minus 31B plus 8. All I did was remove the 1 from the first variable. Now let's move on to number 12. Same exact process again, but just a little reminder, when I have parentheses, I have invisible ones, and in this case, there's an invisible negative 1 in front that is going to change how I handle that second part of the equation. So in the beginning, I have 4x's. I'm going to add negative 1 times 8, or negative 8x's. And actually, I think for this one, I'll quickly show you the work. So I have 4x's, and I'm including negative 8x's, or minus 8x's, which gives me a total of 4 minus 8, negative 4x's. Then I have my y's, positive 12y's, so I'll write that down right here. And then I have negative 1 times negative 11. A negative times a negative would give me a positive 11y. And then 12y plus 11y is going to be equal to 23y's. And then finally I have constants. I have this minus or negative 17. Then I have a negative 1 times a positive 16, which means I have minus 16 more. And that gives me a total of negative 33. So when I put everything together in alphabetical order, I have negative 4x's with positive 23y's minus 33. And then finally, for the end of the first page, I have the base of my isosceles triangle is 5x plus 18. And the side is 2x minus 10. Since they're both congruent, that means the other side's also 2x minus 10. Find the perimeter. So that's just adding up all the sides. I'll start with adding up all the x's. I have 5x's plus 2 more is 7, plus 2 more is 9x's. Now I have to add up the constants. So I have 18 minus 10 is 8, and then I have minus 10 more is negative 2. I can't do anything else, so there's my perimeter. Hopefully this video isn't cut off yet, but if so, we're going on to the back, either way. So now, let me go ahead and get this in focus. We have number 14. It's more of what we did in the front, but now these are multiple choice. Which of the following is equivalent to the expression 9x plus 16 minus 3x minus 1 minus 20 plus 8x? So we have x's and constants. I'm going to go ahead and handle all the x's first. So I have positive 9x's to begin with. I have negative 3 times positive x, which is minus 3x. Then I have positive 8x right there. Let me get rid of that. So plus 8x. When I combine all these, 9 minus 3 is 6, plus 8 is 14x's. So right there I can take away choices A and C. I'm left with B or D. Now let's go ahead and just deal with the constants. I have a 16. Then I have negative 3 times a negative 1, which is a positive 3. Then I have a minus 20. So 16 plus 3 is 19, minus 20 leaves me with a negative 1, or a minus 1. So 14x minus 1, choice B. Number 15, find the perimeter of a square with a side of 4x plus 3. Well, we know that with a square, all the sides are the same, and perimeter is just adding up all the sides. So 4 sides of the same thing is the same. I could do 4x plus 3 and just multiply everything times 4.